us begin with. We will be reading and discussing the Panchama Veda, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This Gospel, before that, we will chant this stotra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. The previous day we were discussing, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was telling that is it possible to understand God's action and his motive? Is really very difficult to understand. Something happens and we feel that this is good, something happens, we feel that it is bad, but everything is going in such a way when what will happen, everything has already been decided, and that's why we say it has been decided by the God. Many things are there in our own life. When you look back, we find from our childhood days, so many, the days we can remember, so many things have happened. Now we cannot get the answer to it. Why it happened? Because it was happened, it was so good. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, he is the preserver, destroyer. And can you ever understand why he is doing all this? Then afterwards, some of the devotees, they were there with him, and suddenly he got up in the midnight almost. It was an early hour of the morning, about 2 or 3 o'clock, and the room was dark. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on his bed, now and then conversed with the devotees. Some of the devotees, they were there resting in the room itself, and he sat on that bed on his cot and he was talking. See, even the moment he has got up from the bed, immediately what he was telling, only the words of God's. And he is telling, remember that, and very, very important for the spiritual life, because he is giving the training to his disciples, the young disciples, the devotees, they are staying with him. And he got up at the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then talking to them, and very high philosophy, and which is very important for the spiritual life. Remember that daya, compassion, and maya, attachment, are two different things. The daya and maya, compassion and attachment, two different things. Attachment means the feeling of myness towards one's relatives, and compassion is the love one feels for all beings of the world. It's so categorical, it's so clear, and that is the way we have to understand if we want to follow the path of spirituality. Again and again people will be asking question, then shall we not have the attachment with our own near and dear ones? Are we not becoming dry? It's not that. A tremendous love, everything will be there, only there is no attachment. So that is the particular thing that we have to develop by discrimination, and that we will hear from him afterwards. Compassion is the love one feels for all beings of the world, and this is very important. When a man becomes religious, he becomes really all embracing. He cannot say that I cannot accept him, I should not go there, do this, do that. So all this decision of aversion and attachment is over. For a religious person, this is a trait, and by that way we can understand how far he is religious. Maya keeps us in the ignorance and entangles us in the world, whereas Daya makes our hearts pure and gradually unites, unties our bonds. So, what is the God realization? That is the question that we will be at length we will discuss in our next retreat. What is God actually? And how to realize God? What happens after realization? So, how to prepare for that? There is a way we will be discussing. Here we can only mention, quoting Sri Ramakrishna, there are only two types of feelings in the mind. One is only love for my near and dear ones, only love for that. Another, the same love, the feeling that I am having in the mind for each and every one in the world. The first one is binding me with this world. That means I have to come again and again, take this body, and I have to suffer this shadavikara, janma, and then asti, jayate, vardate, vipakshiniyate, and mriyate. So, this shadavikara, the moment we are born, so we are there, we are growing up, then we are decaying, and then one day we are passing away, we are dying. So, this shadavikara will be there. If you like, you can follow. Those who are not liking this wants to get rid of out of this circle, for them, then Sri Ramakrishna is telling God cannot be realized without purity of heart. In our last class we have discussed from the Bhakti Sutra, from the Narada, Shandilya, all these great followers of the Bhakti cult, that God cannot be realized without purity of heart. And this, what is this purity of heart? One receives the grace of God by subduing the passions. See, the purity of heart. And then how to get the purity? Sri Ramakrishna is telling, by eradicating or subduing the passions like lust, anger and greed. Lust, anger and greed. These are the three things only. And people, even after getting so many things, they go on craving to get much more and much more. And different type of greediness are there. Greediness is there, different type. Sometimes the money, the gold, sometimes the position, sometimes the name and fame. So many different type of things are there. And if I am not getting that, I am angry. So, these are the three things. Then afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna is describing from about himself, when I was 10 or 11 years old and lived at Kamarpukur, I first experienced Samadhi. The Sunday we were discussing the Samadhi and we were discussing how difficult it is. And here Sri Ramakrishna, he is talking about his own life. Only 10, 11 years old boy, he experienced Samadhi. As I was passing through a paddy field, I saw something and I was overwhelmed. There are certain characteristics of God vision. One sees light, feels joy, and experiences the upsurge of great current in one's chest, like the bursting of a rocket. So, this from his own experience he is giving us. If someone says that I have also had that experience of God realization, so these are the things we have to get from him. Is it like this? Next day, Babu Rahman Ramdayal returned to Calcutta. M spent the day and the night with the master. So devotees used to come and they used to stay with the master. And Dakshineshwar, everyone they used to get the prasad. Whoever used to come, they used to get the prasad. Even nowadays also, there's a long, the veranda is there, and then rooms are also there. People can come, people can stay, people can get the prasad. So these boys, they used to come from Kolkata, they used to take the prasad from Mandir, from the temple, and they used to stay with Sri Ramakrishna. And it was December 1882, and it was the afternoon. Master was sitting in his room at Dakshineshwar with him and one or two other devotees. Sri Ma, he has always mentioned him or master just to not to disclose him that it is the person. So this is the humbleness. He only wants to give whatever Sri Ramakrishna is telling. He is only recording and presenting, and when presenting, sometimes some of the devotees are coming, they are not very regular. Maybe once in a while they will be coming. He is not mentioning their name. So these are the special things in the gospel we find. He is not mentioning, but those who are regular, he is mentioning about them. Why? They are devotee. And if anything that he is writing on that particular day, when that devotee was present, you can go and verify from that person. He has written like this. Do you think it was there? So this was very clear. But those who are coming only for a day or two, not regular, you cannot verify, you do not know who are they. So he is not mentioning the name. He was there and one or two other devotees. Now several businessmen from Kolkata arrived and saluted the master. They inquired Sri Ramakrishna to give them spiritual instruction, and Sri Ramakrishna smiled. And that is the system of these people. They are entangled in their business, they are all merchants, 99% whole mind in that worldly things, but still sometimes they will feel and they will come and they will ask the holy man, Kuch bataiye, please tell something about the God. And when they are inquiring, they are not very serious about that. Only they know that if you are coming and visiting the holy people and the temple, listening to that, then all your sins are gone. Yesterday we went to a place and we saw that Harikatha, this Bhagavat Katha, and we saw all people are dancing, very elderly people, the ladies also, they are all dancing, etc., etc. They think if you are doing that, by that way you are purified. Nothing wrong. In the beginning it is all right, but one should not stop over there. And you have to take them slowly, slowly upward. Nothing is wrong. Whatever you are thinking and doing in the name of God is good, but you should not stop over there. That is the thing. That's why Swami Vivekananda once mentioned, it is better to born in a church, not to die there. Again and again I quote. Then the master, he is talking to those merchants. You see, the feeling of I and mine is a result of ignorance. It's so difficult for them to understand. But still he is telling that high philosophy, truth. Unless and until you understand the truth, it is impossible for you to realize God. And when you are coming to a holy person, a realized soul, he is supposed to tell you the truth. Then you can go according to your own capacity. No, that much I cannot do, this much I will do, I will try to do in this way. But that is the goal I have to reach. Never lower down the ideal. Now sometimes people will lower down the ideal and they will say, oh, this you can achieve like this and that. That's not good. Whatever may be, these people, they may not understand and they may not think of I and mine, without this conception, what remains? That they cannot even think of. Without I and mine, there is no world for them. But Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you see, the feeling of I and mine is the result of ignorance. But to say, O God, thou art the doer, all these belong to thee, is the sign of knowledge. One is ignorance, another is knowledge. So when sometimes if we say only those things to satisfy our devotees, that is not good. He may like it for some time, but the truth should be told clearly. That is the training of Sri Ramakrishna. Then some people may not like it. Many used to come, they used to listen to him for once. The words of God himself, from the mouth of God, in presence of God, but still they used to feel, oh, this is not, then they used to go away. So here he is telling that God is the doer, and that knowledge should be there. How can you say such a thing as mine? Then he is giving an example. That is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. The moment he will say something, immediately he will give an example so that he can remember it. The superintendent of the garden says, this is my garden. But if he is dismissed because of some misconduct, then he does not have the courage to take away even such a worthless thing as his mango wood box. The mango wood is the worst wood. The mango tree, and that wood is the worst wood. So mango wood is the worst thing. Even that wood, made of that wood box, he cannot take, because the employer, the boss, he is angry. But previously he used to say, this is my garden. That was all right when he was working over there. Instead, he could say, it's our garden, or it is master's garden. That is the humbleness one must learn. So without that, one cannot proceed. But if he is dismissed, then Sri Ramakrishna is telling again, anger and lust cannot be destroyed. Many people, they say, how can I control my anger? You can control your anger, but you cannot totally destroy the anger. It is so difficult. The anger is always there. Turn them towards God. This is the special way Sri Ramakrishna is teaching. Eradicating those things, it is impossible. And now he is telling, instead, why don't you turn it? Mod firiye deva. Mod firiye deva means you turn that. As a Sunday, those who have attended my class, I was quoting from a small write-up that if you are focusing a very ordinary light through a magnifying glass, it can create fire. So that focusing. Now this mind, I have an anger, if that anger goes towards God, why everybody is getting the realization of God, everybody having the joy, why you should not give me the darshan? So that type of anger towards God, and you are fighting with God constantly, like Ravana. Ravana was a great devotee. A group of people, one school is there. The Ravana was a great devotee of Rama, but he understood, if you behave like this, then you get the immediate action from the God. So God will come and at least will kill you, and you get the touch of God, you see the God, get the blessings, and the moment you are killed, you are free from, because you are constantly thinking about the Rama. So that way you can turn the anger towards God. Anger and lust cannot be destroyed. Turn them towards God. If you must feel desire and temptation, then desire to realize God. the excellent way he is teaching. Feel tempted by him. If you have to be tempted, why not for a better cause? Why not for a better thing? Why not for God himself? So that is the way. Discriminate and turn the passions away from the worldly objects. Here he is using the word discriminate, vichara. Atha vichara kartabya. With this it starts one famous book, and that Brahma Sutra Bhashya Shankaracharya is writing. Atha vichara kartabya. Now we have to discriminate. Kartabya is the duty to discriminate. Over that there is a lot of explanation. Atha, now, vichara, discrimination, kartabya is the duty. And what is that vichara? Say, a good devotee without vichara, without discrimination, why I am doing this? Just by doing like this, am I going to realize God? What is God realization? Am I proceeding towards that? What are the things that I can understand that I am really proceeding? The more I am proceeding to a particular place, as Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the more you are going towards Ganga, you will feel the cool breeze. Now the downtown, when you go to the downtown, more towards the Michigan lake, we feel the cool breeze, very cool breeze. That means we are nearing to that. So similarly, we can understand, the more you are going towards God, some of the special feature will be within you. If it is not, that means you are not proceeding towards that. So here he is discriminate, vichara. We are going to a temple, we are working over there, we are serving them, we are doing all sorts of things. Why? That is a very interesting thing. When you go to the temple, for what? Not to earn money. Rather, you donate money over there. You are not getting anything from there. Rather, you are giving. But we forget why we are going over there after some time. I have seen it so many places. So that is the thing. When I came to join in the order, and one senior Swamiji told me, I was not disclosing that I am going to join, but he could feel, he could understand, and he said, I know that you will be joining as a brahmachari, as a monastic. It's very good, most welcome. But remember, at this moment you are having everything, and you are leaving it back, all those things at your back, and coming and join without knowing whether you are going to achieve it or not. The tremendous discrimination and vairagya, this passion is there. But when you are here, slowly people also forget for what they have joined in the holy order, for what they have taken the gerua, for what they have left their hearth and home. They become little bit of habituated, and that vairagya comes down. Now your vairagya is just like an elephant, huge. Try to keep it at least in the size of a cow. And don't make it in the size of a mosquito. So that is a great teaching. Those who have become the monastic, after that in the beginning we feel these, that, and slowly that vairagya, that is very important, that this passion. I have come for this particular purpose. So many things are going on happening, and particularly when you are in an organization like Ramakrishna Mission. That is also a very small organization. Our organization is very small organization. Even then, as so many things you get, the Prime Minister of India coming and touching the feet, this man is inviting you, that person is giving you this thing, so many things is happening. in Calcutta and other places in India, the moment you go into that the flight you are going to catch, your ticket will be purchased by someone, it will be booked by that, people will be waiting, and after that the officer who is supposed to check you will say, no Swamiji, this is okay, you please come. You need not to go in a queue, you are taken, and then they will offer you the coffee. Slowly, slowly you start feeling I am somebody. And that is the problem. You forget that you have a seal at your back, that is Thakur. They are not doing it for you, they are doing it for Thakur. As because you belong to that, so you get. The moment you don't belong, there was a very famous Swamiji, his personality. Even for him, the plane used to wait. He sent the word, I am coming, 10 minutes. And the whole aircraft with all the people waiting, so much VIP he became. Then afterwards, he couldn't understand for whom all these things. He left the order, lived outside. Nobody knew. Only a small group of people, they will be there. That is okay. So this is all the training, the teaching. Vairagya, Vairagya, Vairagya. One should not forget, not only the devotees, the monks, and much more for the monks, for the nuns, for the renouncers. What for we have come? That is very, very important. So this is, he is telling, discriminate and turn the passions away from worldly objects. Away from worldly objects. That is the main feeling that you have to have. You are merchants, Sri Ramakrishna is telling. You know how to improve your business gradually. Some of you start with a castor oil factory. After making some money at that, you open a cloth shop. In the same way, one makes progress towards God. So they can understand how they are progressing. They start with a small capital, small business. The more capital, more experience. They start a big business, then bigger, biggest, like that way. As they are progressing in their professional, in that field of business, similarly, one should also make progress in the spiritual life. Look at it. So simple way he is explaining. Anyone can understand and should understand. And same of your the after making action. In the same way, one makes progress towards God. It may be that you go into solitude now and then and develop more time to prayer. That is very important, more time to prayer. So when you are making the progress, the more time to prayer. Solitude we go. Then afterwards what? We will be reading some story books and living all alone. Mostly in America I find people mostly in solitude. Always, all the time. Almost all people alone driving the car. Are they really alone? Constantly going on listening songs or chatting with someone, or they are not in solitude, they are in the company. And sometimes some young people, they will put that the volume is so high, even you can hear from your car also, music is going on. Are they in solitude? They are all alone, but they are not in solitude. What is solitude? In the company of God. How you can be in the company of God? Constantly going on chatting with the God. That is the beauty. Today I am going to prepare these foods. Are you interested? You are talking to God. Nobody is hearing. You are only telling within your own mind. See, these are the ingredients I am having. I do not know, but I am trying. Let me try if I can be good. Then before, you are alone. You are preparing the food for yourself. But before that, as we do the Brahmarpanam, you only say, God, please take a little portion of it, and then I will take. Close your eyes, just see the God is coming, your God or Goddess or whom you like. taking little food and sitting before you, sharing with you all this, and then you are eating that prasad. Enjoy the company of God. Constantly you can be. So that is what is. But you must remember that nothing can be achieved except in its proper time. The moment you are doing it, immediately you will get, not like that. It takes time. So sometimes we take the pill and immediately we feel, oh, why you are not getting better? Another pill. Sometimes, particularly those pills for sleeping pill, and sometimes people they need a pill to sleep, agitated mind, but they take one, after 5 minutes, oh, now sleep is not coming, another one, then third one, the sleep came and never broke. As because they went on taking 10, 15, so that is the problem. So naturally one has to have the time, you have to give some time. The other day I was trying to open the computer in a Skype, then afterwards I realized I should have given a little time. The computer was constantly telling me that I am updating, and I was thinking, what is update? Everything is there, what to update? So I was going on pressure, putting this, and every time it is popping up, updating. Then the Arup came and he told me, you go on talking over phone. So I observed that after 2 minutes, everything was all right. You have to give little time. So Sri Ramakrishna is also telling, but you must remember that nothing can be achieved except in its proper time. Some person must pass through many experiences and perform many worldly duties before they can turn their attention to God. So they have to wait a long time. Just now, I just see a monk and I feel good, and immediately I burn my bridge and follow, like that we do. No. I have some duties, responsibilities, I have to perform that. Well, I have understood, I have accepted that these are the path that I should follow. Okay. But I have the responsibility that I must also perform. After that, I will come and go on praying to God. Go on praying to God. Please, please help me. I like to go, I like to in that path so that I can reach you. So that way, when you are praying, all those things will, in different places, Sri Ramakrishna will be narrating again after days, this teaching, that you have to wait. And the more and more and more you are praying to God and asking Him to take away all those responsibility, slowly you will find one day you are ready. And that will be the perfect time. Without perfect time, one should not do all this. They say that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, the great our patriot leader, he came to become a monk. Then our Brahmananda Ji Maharaj saw him and told, this is not your way. You have to come through different way. You love Swami Vivekananda, but the spiritual way of Vivekananda is not your path. You better go as a patriot, love the country, fight for that. He became a wonderful leader. So this way, and the present Prime Minister, some people they say, he also approached. And then the present President of the Ramakrishna Mission, Atmasthananda Ji, who was that time in Gujarat, he said, young man, this is not your path. So that way they can understand, and they say, this is not the way you should. Nothing wrong, but only a little early, a little afterwards. Have patience. Then the devotees, they brought some offerings, fruits and candy and sweets, and for the master. Sri Ramakrishna could hardly eat them. So this is some people who try to give Sri Ramakrishna, but right that moment he is not ready to accept it, because that was not earned in a proper way. Then he told to the Master Mahashaya, they earn their money by falsehood. I can't eat their offering. Look at it. Many people they think that I won't give, or they will be. Actually, God do not accept. They are thinking I am not giving, because within their mind, God is giving this type of thought. They are unfortunate. So giving the offering to God and accepted by the God, this is very, very important. A man should offer only pure things to holy men. He shouldn't give them food earned by dishonest means. God is realized by following the path of truth. One should always chant His name even while one is performing one's duties. The mind should be left with God. Now here he is talking about the discrimination, that Viveka, and we find over here the Viveka in the Viveka Chudamani, the highest form of the Viveka, discrimination, and it has been composed by Shankaracharya. Sadhanatraya Chatvari Katitani Manishivihi. Shankaracharya is telling, I am not telling. It has been said by the great souls. There are 4 types of sadhana. Yeshu satseva sannishta yad abhave na siddhati. These are the 4 types you must have to follow, otherwise you won't get the success in spiritual life. What is those 4? Only 4. First, Adu, in the beginning. Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. This is Viveka. This is discrimination. Adu, in the beginning, the first thing is Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. So, one person, he is writing in a very peculiar way, and he said, even the people, the ultimate way they go to Vivekananda. What Vivekananda knows? So he is thinking he knows everything. And what he is thinking he doesn't know. So this type of people can never realize this truth. The Vastu Viveka, this world is illusory and God is only real. How you will know? One of our Swami, I told you, he used to live in the Mayavati Himalaya, and whoever used to give the pranami, as because he is a very recluse, he used to live only within himself. He had no connections, and he never wanted to do even charity, work of charity, because he knew, again I have to go to some people, feel for them, give to them, because he always wanted to meditate constantly on God. People, when meeting in India, they have the habit of giving some money as the mark of respect. And he will never say no, because they will feel bad. He used to accept those, and then afterwards he used to throw it out from his window. The person who got the money, he threw it out, and below there was a sweeper. He used to go in that corner and he used to take rest. Someday he found that the money is coming floating from the sky. He was so happy. And then from onwards, every day he used to sit over there waiting for the money to come down from the sky. 2 types of mind. One is so high that he is not at all liking to accept the money. Another is so much attached. So these are the differences. And Adu, in the beginning, if you want to realize God, if you want to realize the Atman, Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. Then, Iha Amutra Phalobhoga Viraga. Viraga, this passion, what is that? Iha means in this world, Amutra means in the heaven. Many people, they will be observing all the spiritual the disciplines only to go to heaven. Because ultimate goal is to go to heaven. And here it says, if you are really interested to realize God, the ultimate form, the Atman, even you should have to say, I don't care about heaven, I don't like to go to heaven. I want to realize my own self. Iha, here, amutra means in the heaven, phalobhoga viraga, no action and no result. So that is called dispassion, tadantaram. Then he says, Shamadhi Shataka Sampatti. Shama Adi, the 6 things that you, Sampatti, the treasure that one should have. What a recluse, what a monk, what a sannyasi should have as a treasure. These 6 things begins with Shama Adi. Shamadhi Shataka Sampatti. Mumukshutva iti sfutam. Now that is, now this way he goes on giving, then we find over that Sri Ramakrishna is telling that you must keep the mind always on God while performing your duties. Here also we find the same thing in the Viveka Chudamani, Sarvada Sthapanam Buddhe, Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada, the constant concentration of the intellect on the ever pure Brahman, and that is called this self-settledness. So it's self-settledness, and that is very, very important. Settled in what? In the self, in the Brahman. Sarvada sthapanam buddhe shuddhe brahmani sarvada. And that way, the pure Brahman, we have to keep our mind. Samadhana, that is called samadhana. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, constantly try to put your mind in the thought of God. And that is possible. That's why Ma is telling, Ma is not giving all these details, but simply he is telling, go on taking the name of God and everything will be solved. And why you have got all these marks on the fingers? Only to keep the count. Go on counting, no problem. So that way, in a very simple way, she is telling the same truth. What Shankaracharya is telling in the Viveka Chudamani, Sri Ramakrishna is also telling over here, and Mother in a very simple, how to go on keeping the mind on God, go on repeating the name of. Sometimes we forget, doesn't matter. Sometimes when you are discussing something, you cannot remember God that very moment, doesn't matter. But the moment we are again getting some time, go on repeating the name of God. One should always chant His name, Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Even while one is performing one's duties, the mind should be left with God. Mam anusmara yuddhacha. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is also saying, Mam anushmara yuddhacha. You go on constantly remembering me and follow my words and then fight. And whom he is asking to do that? Arjuna, the great warrior. The next, it was the Thursday, December 14, 1882. It was afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on his bed after a short noonday rest. So after the little rest, after the lunch, a little rest, and then he is sitting on his bed and talking with them. So this is the wonderful way the ministerial job, constantly alert himself and constantly helping others to be aware about God. That is the ministerial job. We are all ministers over here. In English they call it minister. What is this? This is the ministerial job. And comforting people, talking with them, encouraging them to be good and always to follow the path of righteousness, goodness. So this way we are encouraging people. That is the job. Sometimes people will come and say, what do you do all alone? what you are doing. This is the thing that we do. Wherever we are, in some places like India, Bangladesh, Nepal, they like our services. So the same thing we are doing through service. One young man, a brahmachari and sannyasi, after conducting the relief, they came back to Swami Saradanandaji, DDN General Secretary, and reporting. And they were very happy that in those days, it was the poverty was so much, even to give 2-3 blankets was a big job, big thing. And these people they collected many number, so they were very jubilant. They came and they were reporting to the Swami, this time we have distributed this many things, that many things here. Then after all the report, he quietly asked, what you have given? He was not understanding. You have given, all the report is, these are the things that you have given. You have not given that. That was given by someone, donated by someone. And you have delivered those things to some people, working as a post office, carrier. What is your contribution? Look at that. And that is called karma yoga. This karma yoga means constantly alert. I am not doing anything. Here, whenever we see that something unnecessarily the light is on, or the fan is moving, or the water tap, or this thing, that thing, constantly. And sometimes some places are not very clean, dirty. It is our job to see that everything is all right. Why? Because the devotees of God are coming. So I am here to see that they feel comfortable. And the wastage of money should not be there, because the money is coming from the devotees. The more we are spending, the more we are demanding from them, more we are pressurizing on them. Look at it. If that sense is not there, you are not doing karma yoga. So one Swamiji was there, our 10th president. His chappal, the shoe that he used to wear, it became so old. Then someone took it away and kept a new one. He told, I thank you for giving the new one. Maybe that I will use it. But as long as I can use that one, allow me to do that. Why unnecessarily I should waste? So that is the thing. Sometimes some of our Swami, they will go on pressing that toothpaste, the ultimate thing, the last drop. Sometimes I used to feel, why he is doing like that? Throw it away and take another one. No. Because at least once I can do that with the small thing that was left inside. With that I can manage. Why not that? And that is the attitude, to help the devotees. Because all that we are eating, wearing, everything that I am doing is only by the money of the devotees. So these are the constant thoughts should be there, so that you are alert. That is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. One must be alert. Now he is giving another description, that all devotees are coming, he is talking to them, and while he is talking, he takes up different type of subjects and discuss about many different things. Because when the people they come, if you are constantly talking about God, it will be difficult for them to understand. So different type of subjects, different type of topics, you will pick it up and discuss. Here, one boy named Vishnu, living in Aryadaha, had recently committed suicide by cutting his throat with a razor. The talk turned to him. Young boy used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, he has committed suicide. So many people came because of the Sunday, the weekdays, so he came. Master, I felt very badly when I heard of the boy's passing away, Sri Ramakrishna is telling. He was a pupil in a school and he used to come here. He would often say to me that he couldn't enjoy worldly life. He had lived with some relatives in the western provinces and at that time used to meditate in solitude in the meadows, hills and forests. He told me he had visions of many divine forms. This young boy, he already realized this thing. Perhaps this was his last birth. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about him. He must have finished most of his duties in his previous birth. The little that had been left undone was perhaps finished in this one also. One must admit the existence of tendencies inherited from previous births. There is a story about a man who practiced the Shava Sadhana. Shava Sadhana means this is a very peculiar way of practicing Tantra. Shava means the dead body. And this tantrics, to get some miraculous power, he will bring a dead body and sit on the chest of the dead body. He will be performing and then going on chanting the mantra. Then one time the dead body will open the mouth and all the oblations he has to give in the mouth of the dead body, and then he will get some of the powers. So it is still there, some people they follow it. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling the story. And he is telling one person, he was practicing that. Another person, he had nothing to do with this type of sadhana. He came to collect some faggots, firewoods. But it became night, dark. So he climbed a tree and was waiting for the dawn. And he saw that man lighted the fire and then doing that tantra sadhana and all these things. He brought the dead body, he brought the faggots, he lighted the fire, he was going on chanting. Whole night passed. Only maybe a little hour, 1 or 2 hours was left. Suddenly one tiger came and took him away. This man, he was thinking, he remembered all the mantras that he was going on chanting. He thought, why not me also go and sit over there and chant that name? Let me see what happens. Out of curiosity, he got down and he was sure once the tiger has got his food, it won't come back. So he went down and sat over there. Once or twice he has given the offer to that in the name of Ma Kali. Mother appeared before him. Then he said, Mother, before you give me the boon, may I ask you one question? The what? I am curious to know. I was not at all calling on you or remembering you or even thinking to do anything like this. Out of curiosity, I sat on over this asana, and the whole night I was going on listening to the chanting that he was going on doing. I remember, so I just chanted. You have come here to bless me, but the poor fellow who was sitting over here, he has been killed by the tiger. Then the mother said, you do not know. You completed all these things in the previous birth. And now only this much was left in your life. You have completed now. Now I am giving you the boon. So sometimes we think that this man has come and suddenly in a very young age he is doing all this. No, he has already done it previously also. So this way, then one devotee is telling, I am afraid to hear the suicide. And naturally everybody, and Sri Ramakrishna says, suicide is a heinous sin. Undoubtedly is a heinous sin. A man who kills himself must return again and again to this world and suffer its agony. When a person is committing suicide, not out of joy, out of agony. I mean, the agony is where? Not in the body, in the mind. And what he is destroying is body. And what is remaining? Mind. and the agony in the mind. So it goes on. You cannot complete your agony by just committing suicide. But don't call it suicide if a person leaves his body after having the vision of God. Some of our very senior Swamis, when they are very old and they are getting some help from the brahmachari and all. Recently, one Swamiji, he went to the Mother's Ghat or Swamiji's Ghat. The stairs going down inside the Ganga from the Swamiji's temple, we call it Swamiji's Ghat, and another in front of the Mother's temple, Mother's Ghat. One Swamiji who was a very scholar, highly scholar, he went down into the Ganga and gave his life in the Swamiji's Ghat. And here also this old Swami, Damodarananda ji, he went down and gave his body. Why? Why should you leave taking the help of others? The purpose of this body is over. Look at it. The purpose of this body is to God realization. Now that purpose is over. Now I don't need this vehicle anymore. And then to keep this body alive, I have to go on taking the medicine and the help of so many people, and they are unnecessary getting trouble for me. He decided. He went to the temple and he offered pranam, everything he did, and then he went. So this is not suicide. Sri Ramakrishna is explaining. Then afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna will be telling the stories about it. Now we will conclude today up to this. Next Tuesday, I think I will meet you again. But I am scheduled to go to New York on 11th September, and I will be coming back on 15th, Monday. And Sharanananda ji of the Chinmaya Mission, I have invited him. He has agreed to come, and all the devotees will be coming, and they will be, the Sharanananda ji will give a talk on Ganesha, significance of Ganesha, and the children, nearly 15, 16, they will be chanting about the Ganesha. It's a very good program, but I will miss it. Maybe if it is recorded, I can see it afterwards. Now let us conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa drita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.